This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. This One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night.
Hey folks, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and here we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man? Are you excited? Are you ready for the show? Are you ready for the White Woman review?
Oh my God.
Fuck that. The chat's lost their mind on Twitch.
The chat is amazing.
It's time to expose the chat.
Yep, we're going to expose y'all. We have people in the chat right now asking for the James Boyd White Woman review.
All right, hold on. Okay, fair enough. I had to throw back and be like, I don't recall it saying James Boyd review. I don't scroll up. It says James Boyd White Woman review. Sorry. Yeah, that's wild. This is in regards to the Gaijin or the foreign wrestlers that were in Marigold. I had to skim through that show, so I did not see the white women on that show except for Bozilla, and we'll get into Bozilla later and her potential and where she's her shortcomings are and where her potential is. But I just thought we should start off with White Woman review because that's hilarious. That's ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
I mean, probably for 10 minutes of time on the show when we cover women's armrest for AEW or Dynamite or whatever else, there's a White Woman review, and normally we're just like the Russian drugs. We're very harsh on the white woman on the show. At least I am.
Amazing, man. So whenever we gonna have to get some theme music for the White Woman review, I'm gonna have to get a little jingle or something something like that.
Look, man, Taylor will have us take that shit down.
All right.
Taylor don't play by her music.
Oh man,
she'll have her fans treat us like we Scooter Braun. We better stop.
Oh my God. Oh, we've gone off the rails in record time. Well, I am here.
Look, someone said, you said get some Drake. I mean, look, we're gonna have to play something that sounds like shopping. We're gonna play something that sounds like a lot of SKUs at Target, right?
Yeah.
You gotta play something that feels like fall. That feels like that feels like pumpkin spice.
Sick.
Okay, where do you want to go? What do you want to start with?
Of course, I want to show the merch as normal. I am on the stream if y'all would like to see it. If you listen on the podcast, got the orange, the Kobashi color, One Nation Radio pyramid design.
You call it that. I call it pumpkin spice.
Yeah, pumpkin spice. And I got the joggers on for y'all too. So so you got to be One Nation Radio dripped out head to toe, onelifetimeworldwide.com. Definitely check that out. Support the show. But man, I guess we should begin. I kind of want to. We are getting started late on this thing, so I kind of want to. I want to. I want to hit the whole like Ricky Williams at Texas. So first on the sheet, we got 5 years of AEW. So I hadn't even thought about this until I was prepping the show, and I was just like looking at the calendar, I was like, wow, 2019. It was 5 years ago AEW existed, and I saw some thing from Brian Alvarez, which I thought was pretty interesting. I didn't see the segment, so pardon me, but it was like I thought he had some overall point. It was like 5 years later, everyone is in the same position in AEW that they were 5 years ago. So on its face right there, I'm like,
Swerve champion.
I was like, one, that's kind of categorically wrong if you just start with like the world champion. So there is that.
Chris Jericho is not a main eventer. He is right now fighting with a fake world title.
Yeah, there's like I don't know, that's like I said, I'd not listened to his entire
5
rant
years
to
ago,
get his
the Young
whole
Bucks were
context.
not the world champions forever. Now they are the world champions in tags.
Yeah,
Tony Storm wasn't in his company 5 years ago.
Indeed, Orange Cassidy was a mascot. Darby Allin was not Darby Allin.
Right.
Hangman Page was not a world champion.
Right. Or a main eventer. Right. He was an upper mid card guy.
There's Willow Nightingale was like AEW. She wasn't even on AEW Dark because AEW Dark did not exist. That just came and gone.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's kind of a weird position. Cody Rhodes is no longer in the promotion, so
right. He's a champion in WWE right now. Yeah.
Right. So just before, like I said, I didn't see Brian's whole thing, so I don't want to tune him up too much, but. Just like 5 years of AEW, man, like I think this has been like, the most I've enjoyed wrestling probably since like the peak of New Japan. I was all in on that pretty much as I am all in on AEW since the start. And I think there have been, times where I was like, man, it just doesn't seem right. But overall, I don't feel like there's a company that has gone out of its way to do just cool shit for its fans like AEW has pretty much since its existence. Like, if I think about Double or Nothing 2019, it's like, yo, we're going to give you the Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes match that, a lot of you guys wanted to see for a long, long fucking time. And, they're going to do it. Get the whole thing with, Kenny and Hangman and the Elite, like that entire first story, like encompassing the first couple of years of the company. CM Punk got brought back to wrestling because of this company, for better and for worse. Chris Jericho, career rebirth. Jon Moxley, instead of him disappearing off the national U.S. scene, essentially, he found another home. Swerve becomes like the first black champion in AEW World Champion in history. When 5 years ago, like it was like Kofi, fresh off of Kofi Mania, and they were nosediving that thing, and they haven't even attempted really to go in that direction. They did with Big E, but we saw what.
You also say Lashley too.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, that's not with the top belt. That's with the B Show's top belt.
Correct. So like, like 5 years ago, like Swerve was in a property of the PC. Like, I don't even think he made television yet. So like, and 5 years later, he's a world champion on the other show.
I think he made TV once or twice before the whole situation happened with cuts and everything.
Got you. Actually, I think he was. I think he was. I think he was on like Worlds Collide.
Yeah, that's when we heard about like
stuff like that.
Wait, the person they're really going to push is really him? Not okay. Yeah, if you say so.
Yeah. So like, I think this has been, like Tony Khan's head is a lot like some of these pay-per-views that they put on, like, it used to be like NXT takeovers with these never miss pay-per-views or special shows. And then I think AEW is like even taking that to a higher level because they put it in like pay-per-view format, and it's like people are paying for this the real way. So like these just seem to mean a lot more to, like, the integration of like the reintegration of like New Japan Pro Wrestling back into America, like definitely AEW has helped with that. And then like, guys are getting signed from, Japan, like Takeshita and, some of the stuff with the Joshi were introduced. So like, guys like MJF 5 years ago, where was he?
Yep.
Where was Jack Perry then?
Yep.
in PWG. So like it's a lot, man. Like, and I think, too many people don't I think get caught in the negative minutia of like the week to week bullshit arguments that happen on Twitter with, your various grifters who set the talking points, and then everyone has to spin them in a circle and shit, to realize like AEW really changed wrestling, like for the better. Like so many more wrestlers are getting paid. People are getting opportunities like on the outside of wrestling that are, kind of getting brought in because of AEW for the first time. Like I got a chance to do music for AEW. That's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And like, I don't know, man. I think that's like a lot of stuff gets lost, and like, making it to 5 years, like, all right, let's talk about Monday Nitro. Came out in October of 1995, September 1995. Yep. What were they doing 5 years later? They were about to be off the air, like out of business completely after that. So
they didn't get to 6.
I don't know, man.
Right?
They got to essentially WCW was like 10 years. It was like
but Nitro was like late 95, and then it wrapped up in 01. It
was like 5.5 years.
Yeah. You think this company's gonna be done in 6 months?
I would be shocked. Let's just say that.
Same.
But yeah, like 5 years of AEW. What do you think? What do you make of that?
I think, quite frankly, this promotion has saved major American pro wrestling. If I save, I don't mean the drastic like WWE was dead or it was awful. They're always going to have their fans. They're always going to have a certain level of success. But we don't know what WWE would have looked like if there was no alternative, and AEW had got so hot at a certain period before, around the time of like the bloodline started taking off, right? And then Cody goes back over to WWE, and that never happens if not for AEW, the Cody thing in particular. But like, who knows if they even feel like, all right, man, we got to try something else with Roman, other than we just got to make him this baby face that we've always had him be, and he's always been at this certain level, and that's good enough because this is what we have, and there's no competition. I wouldn't say they're a complete competition, like, oh my God, they're going that neck, but I mean, like, there was a force of change from outside the company, or at least from pressure from something outside the company. Well, outside the company was AEW. So, I feel like where we are all year, I've been saying this. Like, when we talk about these major complaints from fans, and I think at the very beginning of the year, talk how unhappy the fandom scene online is. Like, what's there to be upset about? Cody Rhodes doing great. The Bloodline thing is successful. AEW's doing well. Like, we're getting the best WWE television we've had, television pay-per-views we've had in forever. And AEW has continued to be AEW. At certain level of quality of match you're going to get every single week on Collision, with Danielson being on Collision every single week, seemingly, with Ospreay being here, with Okada being here. I don't think we've had this much quality major pro wrestling like ever. Even when it was the Attitude Era. Like, I feel like this era kicks the Attitude Era's ass as far as in-ring quality and like non-ridiculous storylines you're gonna be embarrassed to show people, in the future. So for me, I feel like this has been like a great period for pro wrestling. Japan has suffered greatly, obviously. But as far as American pro wrestling, I feel like major wise, like, this is the best it's ever been.
Yeah, and it's been like a major change in just like the style of wrestling too has been adjusted. People getting like
Cody
and
kicked out of a burning hammer at 1 on a WWE main event pay-per-view. It's changed.
Like, people kicking it had to be dragged, like kicking and screaming, and into doing it and accepting it and stuff like that. But it's like, you can't deny there's a market for people that want to watch better in-ring action. And,
yep.
There is a market, like anything that's quote unquote new or, like that, there's going to be a pushback. And there's, people that are getting behind guys that are like complete antithesis of that. And it's like, all right, I'm not saying they can't have like, people that fuck with them, but it's like, I think it's driving both sides as you mentioned. But it's, going forward, it's like, all right, we're waiting for the new television to drop, television deal to drop in AEW. Obviously, the everything with the ratings is, depending on, the whims of WBD and things like that. But I, just from a fan standpoint and like, this has been incredible. Like there is just like, think about the amount of 4-star matches on TV and above, like, and just some of the greatest championship matches you've ever seen that are just coming out, Danielson and Hangman, shit like that. Kenny and Pac, like,
Danielson and
all them
Omega
Takeshita matches. Yeah.
Right. Like, bro, it's not out of the ordinary to see it for, like, hell, Ospreay and Fletcher from like a month or two ago.
Right.
Like seeing on cable television 6 years ago, seeing a 4.25 star match was a big fucking deal. A big fucking deal. A rarity.
People were just like losing their fucking minds over this, like back then.
And that's not to say like that's not still a very great match. The 4.25 means better than great. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a big deal. We've seen that almost. We're almost guaranteed to see that weekly now. We're almost guaranteed that. Like, so yeah, I think that like people's perspective on this stuff is when you're in it, you can lose sight of that stuff. When you take a step back and you're like, yo, man, we've been really, blessed, spoiled, whatever word you want to use. Like we've been lucky to see a lot of some of the best American like wrestling on television in this last 5-year span. And like, that includes like, NXT was on, or NXT is still on. NXT for a year was throwing out great matches too to try to compete with what AEW was doing. They got their ass kicked, but they were still putting on great stuff. WWE is on the main roster. They're doing that too now. So like, yeah, man, like this is the best it's ever been, man. I'm sorry. Like, if you want to go to Attitude Era, I dare you, or Monday Night Warrior, I dare you to run these things match per match, angle per angle, follow through on the storylines and all that kind of stuff. I don't have anything for you. I just don't.
Yeah, man. Let's move on to the preview for AEW Double or Nothing next week. Obviously the one of the tentpole events for the company and Las Vegas once again, and I think that's probably going to be the last AEW Double or Nothing in Las Vegas.
Why do you say that?
I mean, WrestleMania next year is going to be in Vegas, and I think they're going to be tapped out by then. So, well, yeah, because of WrestleMania. Because I remember, was it SummerSlam last year when they had to change venues because it didn't sell that well, or was that 2 years ago? I think that was 2 years ago, and it was Money in the Bank.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, let's start with the AEW International Championship. Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay. They've kind of set this up with Ospreay and a kind of like a side spin-off feud with like Shane Taylor Promotions. He had an awesome match with Shane Taylor on Collision. Had him, did his huge Stormbreaker to him. And it was, a really cool match. And I think, Roderick Strong's walking in there to hand this off to Will, and then Will's about to just go crazy. Ospreay's undefeated in the company. They had a very strong face-to-face segment. I thought was a kick-ass promo to make you, care about this thing.
Yeah. It was so good that it makes you forget a lot of the goofy shit that Roddy's been doing. And it's like, you could have just been this guy as opposed to the fucking goofball in the neck brace in the wheelchair. And yelling motherfuckers' names,
Yeah, this
is so much better. Like, so much better. Like, this and also the O'Reilly thing, so much better than what we were getting before he was champion. So much better.
Yeah, this looks like it's got Ospreay written all over it, and he's gonna go crazy.
Yep. I mean,
we got
it's Osprey and it's Roddy. Do we count out do we just say outright like they won't get enough time to have the best match of the night, or is it still a threat?
Will Ospreay is never getting his time cut in this company. Ever. So he's always going to get a chance to do his thing.
Okay.
And so, yeah, strong contender for match of the night.
Okay.
AEW Women's World Championship, Toni Storm versus Serena Deeb. And man, what an awkward feud. People, I think it just comes down to the fact Serena Deeb is not a very good babyface, and Toni Storm has been solid enough in the ring to where like anyone was on her case about it was just too gimmicky. It's kind of like
she shut him up in like the last month and a half. Yeah,
took her foot off the gas pedal there. So like it kind of allows her to do the gimmick with more freedom now, and everyone's just she's just too over. And she's not getting booed or anything, and it's all fucking backwards. Like either Toni Storm is actually the babyface and Serena Deeb just the heel, or Serena Deeb is a terrible babyface and Toni Storm is a heel that gets cheered.
Toni Storm is a heel that gets cheered, and Serena Deeb is not enough. Her redemption or her comeback isn't enough of a hook to get people to be into her. Unfortunately, the woman had a fucking episode or multiple episodes of seizures, and she came back from it, and the crowd did not give her enough time to get to it. And unfortunately, I saw that her in front of that crowd, and I was like, oh, this isn't going well. And this before the crowd started to turn over, and then they turned over, and then she got to the part about the seizure thing, and then the crowd shut up because they felt bad that they were on her before she got to her point. It was like, well, maybe she got to the point sooner. But yeah, I think the match is gonna be good, but it's like Serena, she's just better as a heel in AEW. She just is.
It's like she said, yeah, man, I'm gonna describe this tragic event that happened to me, and everybody looked at her like, so
yeah, because she meandered so long before getting to the point, and people were like, why are you out here? And then she did it after the crowd already turned, and it was like, oh, that's rough. And also, it's like, I gotta say, like the Deanna and Thunder Rosa stuff, both of them are more interesting to me than Serena's comeback right now. So yeah, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah. Challenger of the month. Toni Storm rolls. Bet the overs on Toni Storm. However the fuck that shit works. Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black in a barbed wire steel cage match for the TNT Championship.
Do we know the rules yet?
We do not know the rules yet, but Wednesday is coming. We will see whatever the rules are. All I know is that Big Cope better not be dropping this TNT belt, or I shall become unruly on this show.
Yeah, Cope, regardless of what the rules are for this thing, Cope should walk out with the TNT title.
Yeah. If there's some bullshit about, we're going to break our way through the cage and, we're going to do some fuck shit and allow everybody to run in, and I just feel this is going to be overbooked to hell. And
don't need to be.
I'm dreading it. I'm hoping they surprise me because I've been trusting. This new thing of liking Adam Copeland for me, I kind of want to keep that going. I don't want to have to revert to how. Well, I
already know what's gonna go. Whatever happens, good or if anything negative happens in this match, you ain't blaming Cope. You blame Malachi. So it's fine. It's fine. So we just move on from there. Cope's gonna win, and whether he pins him with a spear or walks out the cage, he's gonna leave with the belt.
Jon Moxley versus Konosuke Takeshita for the IWGP. Excuse me, it's an eliminator match for the IWGP World Heavyweight title. So if Takeshita wins, he will receive a future IWGP World Heavyweight Championship match.
Yeah.
So with this stipulation, there's only one thing that I really think. I'm like, is Takeshita actually going to win?
I mean, that's what I would hope. Like, just thinking those two together, like, they're going to have a great match. Well, I would like to see another one. So, sure.
Right. I can hear it now. They have the IWGP champion losing on pay-per-view. Oh man, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. I'm like, my answer's gonna be, I'm gonna be like, the IWGP belt is so under right now. They planned for the Best of Super Juniors finals to main event over it at Dominion. So they've shown what they care about this belt right now.
Look, Evil's challenging for it at Dominion. We're done.
Yeah. So like, I think this is, could there be a political aspect to this? Kesha's DDT guy, maybe you don't want him challenging for the belt. I'm not gonna discount that, idea, but I think this is more to get a 2-match series.
Yeah, I still think it opens up the door for you don't know who's going to win. Because if it was a title match, it's like, oh, you already know the man getting dropped on his head and it's over. Like this puts an intrigue of like you can buy near falls from Takeshita here.
Right. Yeah, and I don't know how anyone could disagree with that. Like, I'm like, because there's no way in fuck that Takesha's winning the IWGP belt unless they want to save New Japan from wrestling. I mean, they'd be like, all right, you can have Takesha. You can have Takesha till the Dome. Yeah, till the Dome, and he'll be the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion.
And we'll have him put it back on Naito.
I think if I called Josh and Jeremy right now, who are also live on their own show, and I offered them this deal, right?
They take it and have a heartbeat.
They would take it in a second.
Right.
I think any New Japan fan worth their salt would take it in a second. But,
we'll see.
We can't. Some of these people can't be trusted. So I don't know. We got, I have people requesting us to call Jeremy and Josh right now.
No, we can't do that. They're in the middle of the call. They ain't going to pick up anyway.
Yeah, they won't pick up. But let's see. We got Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy in a grudge match, singles match. These guys had a good match already. Yep. Tons of history here. Nice. This would be a match that, our buddy, the Doc Chad Matthews, would love. Like, as far as like long history, mid-card feud, right in the middle of the show. Let's see it. Grudge match, long time friends turned on each other. Special singles match. Yeah, that's kind of what this is. I think you got to go with Trent here, like it, because they already kind of beat him once with the that roll up. Mm-hmm. So like, I think you got to put Trent over like pretty strong here, and he's got to bust Orange Cassidy open.
So I got Orange Cassidy going over strong. I want no smoke with Tunnel Talk. Leave me the fuck a little out of this. So when they hear this, I say Orange Cassidy winning. I had nothing to do with this. Leave me out of it. I expect, you know what I predict? A great match. That's it. You can't blame me for none of this shit. I ain't jinx. I ain't do none of that shit. Whatever's going on when y'all watching, man, you got the anxiety and y'all hurt. Your tummies are hurt. It ain't got shit to do with me. I'm out of it.
I love it. Oh, Total Talk has shaken my co-host. Unreal. But yeah, man, we got the FTW rules match for the FTW championship. So there was something called the FTW Contender Series on Collision. It was 3 matches that were won by Hook, Katsuyori Shibata, and Brian Keith. I'm rooting for Brian Keith to get the match. I don't know, if they're going to go right to him or if Hook's, trying to get back in line for the FTW belt. But I'm done with Hook, kind of. Shibata and Jericho had that awesome match on TV.
Yep.
It would just be another rematch. So I'm kind of rooting. I think Brian Keith would be the most interesting match, and he probably would like Brian Keith is somebody that they'll put it in there and be like, yo, they put him in there with I believe they put him in there with Shibata before. They put him in there with Malachi Black when he hadn't wrestled in a long time. I just want the guy to get a shot. So I hope it's Brian Keith.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with any of the 3. I mean, because I know I have, let me phrase that. I'm good with Brian Keith or Shibata. Like, the match I want to see the least is Jericho versus Hook again.
Right.
Because if it's Jericho versus Brian Keith or Shibata, I know what I'm going to get. It's going to be either going to clobber the fucking head with chops and strikes and brawling. If it's going to be Hook, he's going to try to have a match, a real match with Hook, and Hook is not there yet to have a real match, as we saw the last pay-per-view.
Yeah. Got people in the comments saying Hook should actually just join the learning tree.
That would be hilarious. That would really be hilarious.
I agree.
Like, if they do that, can we then get like a Jericho and Hook versus Christian and Nick Wayne match? It'd be like, you stole my swag. We have old country beef dating back to when we were a tag team that turned each other back during WWE, and you stealing my swag, and they just do the basics patriarchy versus learning tree because it's the same shit.
That'd be funny. I'm still waiting for Jack Perry and Christian to just run into each other backstage, like in a segment or something. Be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing?"
When the scapegoat shit was happening, I was like, "He's gonna come back and be like, you know what, Christian, you were right the whole entire time." That would have been great. This is great too. What we got, but that would have been great.
Yeah. Singles match for the TBS Championship. Should we work in the road to TBS Championship defense here?
No, we'll put it in.
Okay. So we got the TBS Championship match. Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Moné. They had an awesome segment this past week, and man, it's like, it's so funny because I think people were not understanding Mercedes is heel? Correct. Like normal, not knowing her alignments and shit like that. And I hate to go back on Brian Alvarez again, but this is a thing with him going all the way back when she was feuding with Ronda Rousey, not knowing the difference between a babyface with an edge, or somebody that's a heel. This was a heel. Like, and then I think Willow Nightingale is I think the dynamic between her and Mercedes, this may ruffle some feathers, but frankly, I don't give a fuck, is better than the dynamic that she ever had with Bayley. Because it's like, with Sasha Banks and Bayley, it was like, yeah, we all know they're in the wrestling school with each other. They're friends. Like, and Bayley's not really like there's nothing that is actually an underdog about her. Like, this is a full-grown woman, a professional athlete or whatever, right? And I'm not saying Willow Nightingale's not, right? But Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Moné are complete fucking opposites in size, in the way they dress, in the way that they wrestle, in the way that, you know, kind of like where they come from in wrestling. And it's just amazing. Like, and you know, the way they dress is opposite. Like, it's amazing. Like, the dynamic between them, and it never felt like hotter to me than when she dumped her through that table this week. And then she was basically saying, yo, you didn't walk out the match. Like, there's a lot more of a, like, hey man, there might actually be, I can buy the smoke between them a little bit more, is what I mean.
You lost me.
Like,
on
I can buy
a Bayley thing, but because like the Bayley thing was said, where like she is a geek that makes a journey towards getting out of geekdom by finally beating her more or less bully, her frenemy / bully. But as far as this, like, yeah, all the them as far as their characters and where they started and where they've ended up and gone through their careers and end up together, and now, you know, they're facing each other again. Like, yeah, that's a great story. I think this is finally the first time it ever actually like clicked as far as them on the screen together, and like Willow stopped, like, she's been so apologetic to what's happened to her that she's finally had enough, because Mercedes has been an asshole. So she's like, all right, I'm going to give you a taste of what you've given me over all these months, over like, we're athletes, injuries happen. You shouldn't stop like holding a grudge, make me feel guilty. I haven't done anything to you, like, other than compete. So, like, yeah, she finally has had enough, and, like, now she said the fighting words and put her through the table. I'm all in. Yeah. I didn't realize I was doing the AEW pun. I really didn't. But, yeah, this is Double Nothing anyway.
man, it would be really cool for Willow to win, but I think the story ends if Willow wins here, right? I think
yeah. Well, one, I think if you beat Mercedes first night in, I think a lot of her fans are going to be furious. So there's that, but for me it'd be like, she beats Willow. Like if she were to beat Willow, if Willow was to beat her, okay, do Mercedes and Toni Storm.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bigger match. You can have that, and then like you can have like once Willow's run with TBS ends, then you can have Willow come after Mercedes, and Mercedes then get her win back.
You could do that.
Will her fans have enough patience for that? I don't know. Obviously not. But you get my saying, like, there's more money in a rematch doing it that way than the other way around. That really feels like a New Japan or a Japanese pro wrestling thing where someone comes back from injury in a big spot, loses, and then has to come back at a later time when they're actually healthy.
Man, I gotta say, man, it would be a bold choice to be like, yeah, Willow, you're going over.
I'm not spending that much money on Mercedes for her to lose her first match.
Yeah, like I think Mercedes is winning. And then like from there, it's almost like, how do you get her back to Mercedes? I'm not sure, but I think you're going to have to turn Statlander on her. Could Mercedes debut a unit that she's, putting together? There's a lot of people that are signed with AEW who have not appeared yet.
Money goon.
Look, we could do it just like this. She can roll up with 3 big white women,
Megan Bain and who else?
Megan Bain, Camille.
Oh my God! I forgot about Camille.
Megan Bain, Camille, and Statlander.
Oh my God!
Look, and then they're all protecting Mercedes, and Willow got to go through them all.
So this is the Monet Embassy.
Yeah,
because for a while, like when it did Mobile Embassy, they had Trish and your boy Parker Bordeaux out there.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah. So I think you got to build a wall around Mercedes. And I think this is a really big match. I don't think it's going on last, but it feels like a big match now.
Yeah.
Anarchy in the Arena, The Elite, Kazuchika Okada, Jack Perry, Matthew, and Nicholas Jackson versus Team AEW, which is Bryan Danielson, FTR, and Darby Allin, who returned at the end of Dynamite this week. And man, I feel so much better about this. I'm like, yo, Darby, that shit got me excited. I was like, hell yeah, this man's gonna fucking kill himself in this match. Some biblical shit is about to happen.
I don't know why you feel better about this being the Team AEW team. This team without Kingston and with Darby, and this is even now you got 3/4 of it being teams friends of CM Punk. I don't know why you didn't think of it that way, but I know why you didn't think of it that way. But you should have thought of it this way. But yeah, man. I would have enjoyed like the way that they played that. They planted that seed with Claudio and him not enjoying Kingston and Danielson's mutual respect, given that Kingston and Claudio have forever beef. But they have to put that to the side. They have to use that another time. But yeah. Great substitution. And, like, good to know that Darby, he can bounce back off anything. He broke his foot, got hit by a bus. Less than 2 months ago?
Broken foot, hit by a bus, all that shit. Crazy. Like, but I think it's so cool that to stand him across from Jack Perry, and then, like, I think you can spin them off into, like, Perry's, like, first, like, singles feud after that. Like, for me, that's the finish to this match, is Jack Perry pinning Darby Allin.
Do you want to do that?
Somebody got to go up. Someone got to go down.
Do you want to go with that, like, as their Darby and Jack Perry in, like, the summer? Do you really want to go with that and start it off with?
Yeah, why not? Like,
okay. I mean, it would be great, obviously, but I feel like there's bigger things for both of them, and they could do something in the fall. Makes more sense to me. But,
like, I think you can, because eventually I think they got to get Jack Perry as a single in the ring. Like they gotta like cash this shit in. So
yeah.
But yeah, like this match is gonna be insane. Here to warn you now, Darby Allin and Anarchy in the Arena, they might have some shit that's planned that's just like out of this fucking world. Cash Wheeler is a psycho. We already know Danielson loves being in these fucking multi-man matches or whatever because he finds a way to, you know, kind of stand out amongst them. Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, they lay these things out in their sleep. Kazuchika Okada in his death match.
It's going to be so weird to see Okada in this element. What the fuck
Okada
is this?
in this death match? So who, all right. If you're pairing off, I guess he pairs off with Danielson. Yeah, he pairs off with Danielson.
No, but still, just like the idea of like the most classical pro wrestler maybe we've ever seen, like involved in this nonsense. It's gonna be like, look, man, you can't tell me a part of the reason why he decided to leave New Japan was to get away from King of Pro Wrestling.
Look,
he's here, even have a thunder match.
I'm calling for it now. It's time for Kazuchika Okada to earn his stripes. You know, run the razor. Let's get it. Let's run the razor, Okada. You know, put the blood down. You know.
Yeah.
But he can even wear the red pants to match with it.
We're not bringing Okada back. You stop this right now. Yeah. So I think we both have, you know, the Elite winning this.
Yeah. Elite should get chapter 1 of whatever this thing is. And
there's a pattern here for how this works. You know.
Yeah. I'd be shocked because I think you killed a group dead if you just beat them.
You killed the group dead, and 2, like, what the fuck you gonna do for blood and guts? There's a pattern here on how this has worked every single year they've done it, seemingly.
But then we got the World Championship, Swerve Strickland versus Christian Cage. There's been a lot of stuff that's happened in this feud, including Swerve's entire unit blowing up, Christian being deployed by the Elite, kind of with no real way of earning this match. There's going to be a Swerve.
The last match he had, he lost.
Yeah,
it was a title match.
He quit.
Yeah, he literally gave up. He's like, Hammer don't hurt him. No, please.
Yeah. So Swerve is wrestling Nick Wayne next week. Got his head bust by Nick Wayne this week after he had an awesome match with Brian Cage. And man, I got to address something about that. I saw so many people, and I hate doing this, like as far as like reacting to shit that's not on the show, but I feel like I got to say this because it's like, I'm like, all right, with Swerve being the champion, they just wanted him to destroy Brian Cage and go through him in 5 minutes.
So he's supposed to go through a dude that has like, 40 pounds on him?
There's that.
He's supposed to just cut through a muscle-bound man, put his hand in the sand, or put his face in the sand like he's LL Cool J on Bad.
Apparently. You know, and the comments are saying Brian Cage deserves respect. Absolutely. Like, you don't be in a unit with someone for like over a year and ride the roads with them and like do segments with them.
He was the muscle of the group.
Correct. Like, he's
you want to take the heavy, the guy that was the heavy is going to get destroyed by the guy that did. Then why did you need a heavy for?
Right. Like, nah, man. Like one, also Swerve needs to be allowed to have great matches to compete amongst the rest of the card. It's not like, you know, he can just go out there and wrestle for 5 minutes and then people will like watch other people like on these shows. Like, this is a loaded fucking promotion. So you got to give him a chance to compete in that aspect as well. So like, yeah, man, like,
and he's held up his end of the bargain more than so in that sense. Like, him, Ospreay, Danielson got to be the best. Got to have the best years in American Pro Wrestling so far. They've been great on TV.
And it's like, yo, you don't put a unit together for a year to blow it off in 5 minutes. Like, no, it just doesn't compute with me. So they had a back and forth match, awesome match, and like, I told Swerve this. I was like, yo, I really like the unit or whatever, and I wish they would have used them more and stuff like that, but it's just not the way the ball bounced. So this was as best as it was going to get. So unfortunately, he wasn't going to get to work with Toa and Khan. Like, he had to, you know, work with Cage.
Right. And he was only in Cage the only one on the level that could have, like
right,
like if it was Bishop Comm or if it was your boy, like Swerve would have had to go through those guys like Hot Knife Through Butter. He sort of did when he whooped their asses with Shane. That kind of is the bit of the go through those guys. Like Cage is the exception because Cage is a person that's been a player in AEW at different points, especially whooping Darby's ass, going toe to toe with Moxie at times, and like he was the heavy in the faction. He was the guy when Swerve needed some help, came out there and would go out there and give Page hell from time to time.
Right.
Page hell from time to time.
So, Swerve got his head bust with the with the picture, ripped it out, kind of called back when he busted in Nick Wayne's gym, ripped his dad's picture up. So everything's kind of, coming back on him like that. Got a match with Nick Wayne this week. That should be pretty good. Now, Nick Wayne is someone he can go through, like, a solid 8-minute match or whatever.
He's not going to go through Nick Wayne. You know that. He respects Nick Wayne too much.
Yeah, there's a long story there too. So, but yeah, him and Christian, I think, this should be awesome as well. Like Christian Cage always equates himself well in big title matches. I can think of the match he had with Danielson. You can talk about his match he had with Kenny. You talk about his match with Darby, his match with Copeland. Like this guy has delivered. And if you think he's going to do anything,
pay-per-view match with Copeland.
Correct. If you think this guy's going to do anything but have a great match, especially like, world title match, how many more of these is he going to get? I don't know. And, Swerve wants to show exactly what he's made of. The Claudio match, the stuff with Kyle Fletcher, the Cage match. Like, he's not going to be outshined by any other world champions or anything like that. So, like, he's going to have a point to prove. I think this is going to be excellent.
Yeah, I agree. And I think there's going to be added by like Nick Wayne and Kill Switch and Martha Wayne interference, whatever else. We'll see what happens with like whatever. Because we haven't seen Nana since Embassy turned on him. So like you should see that interaction too. Like that comes into play as well. Like he probably gonna be like, what side is he on? Thing that makes it safe for Swerve? The crowd pops crazy because he finally made it Swerve and he announced it like, I'm actually with this dude. I'm not with Embassy at all anymore.
Right. So yeah, that's Double or Nothing. I think it's like a pretty good card on paper. I think they might add maybe one more match. They will probably add pre-show matches as well. So, good to see Takeshita back on pay-per-view. I would have loved to see him in person at Dynasty, but, so a lot of guys in that Anarchy in the Arena match. So Double or Nothing is always a tough crowd too. It's in Vegas. It's early in the day. It's tough sometimes out there. So hopefully,
start at 6 local time or 5 local time. So. You count a 0 hour.
Yeah, 5 local time with 0 hour, and they be sleep out on the West Coast sometimes. So
it is on a Sunday.
Yep,
in Vegas, have people hungover.
Yep,
dehydrated in the desert.
Yeah.
Walking in as the sun is still beaming and shining hard. Yeah,
so everybody gonna just be chilling.
Do I sound like I'm one of the people that make those excuses? Like people talk about like WWE crowds. Oh, this, that, and the third. Like, hey man, that's rough. If the matches match, it'll be fine. If it don't, then it won't.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about Marigold, man. Okay. First show today. I got to watch 1.5 matches. I was a busy man today.
Okay.
Between watching.
Primary Election Day is Tuesday, June 4th. Now is the time to make a plan. Whether you plan to vote absentee by mail, in person at your county auditor's office before Election Day, or at your polling place on June 4th, it's important you take steps now to make your plan at voterready.iowa.gov. Remember, Election Day is Tuesday, June 4th. Find more info at voterready.iowa.gov. This message is presented by the Iowa Secretary of State.
The WNBA and also, working my job.
What WNBA game do you watch?
I watched the Fever in the Sun again today, and they went down to the wire. And I've watched all of Caitlin Clark's games so far, and this was an excellent game. Like this is probably the best the Fever played. But that Aaliyah Boston, man, I don't know, man. Lyric checked me about her and let me know not to disrespect, to cut the shit when it comes to Aaliyah Boston. But look, I'm not the one that's shooting 38% around the rim to start the season.
Yeah. Look,
I'm sorry.
Look, Lyric watches more WNBA than we do, more women's basketball than we do. That's absolutely fair. I don't know if she's watched more basketball than we've watched in our entire lives, seeing that we're both older than her, right? And I can scale this down because I've watched women's basketball before. Leah Boston so far this year has not played well. Now, I'm not saying, look, and she's played so poorly that it's like, how did she win Rookie of the Year last year? What the hell happened, right? She got MVP votes, by the way. I looked at that ballot. She got MVP votes. So it's really weird watching her and then seeing, what I've seen out of her, as a post player. Just that ain't no Breanna Stewart. That ain't no Asia Wilson. Not even fucking close. Anyway, I watched most of 2 games, and like the thing for me is like I'm interested in like, do they actually have a game plan or understanding as far as the Fever what they have in Caitlin Clark? Because like even if you don't want to have her shoot shoot all the shots or shoot a huge number of shots, whatever, fine. I don't feel like they utilize her as a screener, given the part where like with that kind of range she has, if she sets backside screens a la Steph Curry, she causes a bunch of fucking chaos of her own just as a screener. They don't utilize her that way. So, that's my disappointment in Washington so far.
There was a big difference the first 2 games and the next 2 games because it was almost like they put the ball in Caitlin's hands, where it's like before they were going through Erica Wheeler a lot. Yeah, she's coming off the bench now, off the Oak. Like Caitlin's kind of setting up the offense, and they're doing a lot more pick and roll actions and like spreading the floor and stuff like that. And she's moving around, like she's not so much standing in the corner waiting for anything. And like she's had like her 2 games, Saturday and today, like Caitlin was awesome. So like she was like hitting threes. She was hitting logo threes today. Like it was like, yeah, this is what she's capable of. So they just gotta keep it rolling.
Yeah, one thing I think people also lose sight of, like we think of her as like she is like going to be the W Steph Curry, and it's like Curry,
she's getting assists too.
Yeah, but like Steph Curry did not start off like that early either. Obviously there was injuries in place, but he wasn't somebody that we thought like, oh yeah, that dude, he's gonna come in and he's gonna revolutionize the game. Like even if she started number 1, like there is a physical component to this where like I don't think she'll ever be a good defender in the W. And 2, you've seen how she got cracked with screens. The Breanna Stewart one in particular, that rip screen, that caught her. And there's a physicality she has to adjust to, and there's also another part of this which is like the jump from the W, relatively speaking, amongst the genders, right? The jump from college women's basketball to the W is steeper and harder than the jump from men's college basketball to the NBA, because you got to make 1 out of 450 in WNBA. Or sorry, in the NBA. It's 144. You got to be one of the 144 best women in the world to make it in the W. That's 1/3, So it's so that's one thing we didn't really account for. But like I don't think she's outside of the first game or the second game. I don't think she's been playing bad. I think people thought she was going to come in and be, throw that LeBron stat line against Sacramento and it's going to be all good. It's like, nah, that's not realistic. It's not realistic. Like, I wouldn't sell any stock on her yet. I think she'll be fine. And
I think she's going to end up like an all-star starter, and like she's going to like.
Well, she's going to end up all-star basis of popularity contest.
Yeah. And like I think she's averaging like 17 a game right now. So like
she's doing perfect. She's doing fine. First 4 games doing perfectly fine. Yeah. I mean, after the first 2 games, it'd be reason to have concern.
And also, motherfuckers are playing. So like this was the first game tonight where it felt like she was actually playing a game, like a regular game, where it was like people were just competing against each other naturally. Like the first 3 games, it was like people were trying to have like the game of their life against her, and that's not going to stop.
Who was it on the Connecticut Sun that was lighting her ass up?
Dejanay Carrington.
Yeah, Dejanay Carrington was giving her all sorts of hell. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was a girl on the Liberty, Lainey Hamilton. Like it was like they're throwing these huge defenders on her.
Well,
like
I was wondering why I couldn't see no, like, you know, where was Sabrina? Why was she out here ducking smoke?
Yeah.
Why they won't guard each other?
Yeah.
What's happening?
That's funny. Look, they know somebody gonna get cooked. I'm telling you. And look, and she played Carrington again tonight. Like Caitlin was giving workout too. So like it's like
she's a rookie,
I think like the more that she's around in the league is like people like she's not afraid of the contact, and also she's like she has like the moves still to like get space and like back people up and stagger them. Like the second she gets an ounce of daylight, like it's I don't know, bro. She's awesome, bro.
Look, I mean, hopefully they don't do too much. They can, you know, go out here and get the number one pick next year, so they can put her and Paige together. So that's more what I'm concerned of. Just put them together.
I would like that, but I think there's an expansion team that is going to get the number one pick.
Oh, the Valkyrie, right?
Paige.
The San Francisco Valkyrie?
Yep.
All right, well.
Or Golden State Valkyries or whatever.
It's not oh yeah, you're right. It's Golden State, it's not San Francisco. What am I talking about? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. But there will be somebody else that'll come along.
Are you surprised they don't have like they have a different color scheme in Golden State? Like they're purple.
Yes.
I was surprised.
Like, why would you do that? Like,
you know, it doesn't go hand in hand 100%. Like, you know, like there's some green in the Sparks, you know, jerseys or whatever else. So I was surprised. That's all. And like the Dream, like Atlanta Dream, their colors different than the Hawks. But I was figured, you know, as popular as they are, you would just go with it. But you know, purple, it's cool.
Yeah, and they're adding a Toronto team too. I didn't know
that part.
It's like the year after or something like that.
Oh, okay. It's good for more jobs. League gets more diluted.
Yep.
And the Aces going to still be the Aces. Look, they're real off a dynasty. Angel was putting like Bill Russell out here.
we get to start saying, oh, you know, played that watered down competition. You know, we get to start putting asterisks on these rings.
Look, asterisks on the rings. Look, unfair competitive advantage, making $100,000 that they ain't got nothing to do with the salary cap. Yeah, that's happening now. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna be an ace for life. Yeah, I'll take the Kelsey Plum All NBA. Yeah, I'll take the look. I think she finished like 4th in MVP voting 2 years ago. Yeah, I'll take the minimum to stay here on the Aces. What?
You know what my favorite subplot has been that I've learned this week. So the Connecticut Sun, they're a great team.
You talk about Bonner? The Bonner story? Oh, God.
DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas apparently either are engaged to be married or already married to each other. And I'm like, man, they have great chemistry. You know, there's something like, you know, I'm like, oh, I understand now. Like,
so that's a different story. I thought you were going to say, like, when Bonner, like, passed her ex-wife on the all-time scoreless in W, like, in the opening night. I was like, that's crazy.
It took me a second to remember who it was. I was like, oh, it's Candice Dupree. I was like, oh, man, there's probably a bunch of these shits that we, like, it's
all on the top.
It's wild.
It's all on the top. We don't even know.
I love it.
We don't even know. I love it. When it comes out public, it's like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
An all-time relationship.
Yeah. Alyssa Thomas, DeWanna Bonner. Let's go. But,
I meant as far as like their stature in the game. I didn't mean it that way, but yeah, sure.
They were awesome tonight, bro. They scored like I think like 20 something each or whatever, and then like Alyssa Thomas like might have had like a triple double, and like she basically like set up like the biggest play of the game. She like dished it off to DeWanna Bonner, so it was like, you know, I just started like looking stuff up, and then I started to say, I was like, hold on, what? And then you know I filled in all the gaps. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
So you know what? You remember I was saying a couple weeks ago, or a week or two ago, a couple weeks ago, I was like, or last week, I was like, we need to find like something like a pop cultural thing to cover besides wrestling, whatever else. The W might be it.
I'm telling you.
The W might be it.
Bro, I love the WNBA, bro. It's a lot smaller. Like, you know, you can watch some games on national television all week. And
half the people you've known because they've been in Final Fours and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so more W talk coming right at you. Let us know if you enjoy it. So, Yeah.
This is our all feelings, no facts part of the podcast.
Correct. We talk about women's basketball. Yes. I love it. Yeah, so man, I don't even know where we at now.
Marigold. We're getting to Marigold.
Yeah.
So I don't know how we got onto the W, but that's a clip right there. But so you said you watched the beginning of the passion injection, the first half of it, and you also watched the main event.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right.
I love Yuzuki coming out with the color of the promotion on the gear, the hair. She basically sending a signal like, "Hey, all this shit gonna be mine one day."
Yeah, it's very much like the Hannon thing, where it's like I'm the future. That's kind of written all over it. Look, the main event was incredible. And it was even more impressive the part where it was like Bozilla didn't seem like she knew what the hell she was doing half the time.
Yes.
But I didn't watch the semi-main event or the two matches before the main event, but I did watch like the first three matches. So I watched Passion Jackson match, I watched the Miku Ano match, and I watched the Mirai versus Chiaki match. And like, look, high quality is quality wrestling, man. Like these are all good to very good matches, all three of them. So like that's the undercard, and then the main event is that main event, and it's like, well, I predicted that, like, I thought that, like, this could potentially become number 2 in Joshi, and, like, I'm here to say right now, it's number 2 right now. Sorry, Tokyo Joshi 4 fans. I like a lot of those wrestlers, but there's no undercard I've ever seen, aside from the biggest shows they have of the year, except for their A shows that they have, like, quality matches. They aren't just comedy nonsense or whatever else. This was hard-hitting wrestling. Like, I have favorites out of At-Rest already. I have 4. I have the tag team that I will now affectionately call like new Mahime. Like they have what's her name? They have Kuki, and they have another woman, 5'8", 5'7". We're done. Good enough. Beat the hell out of wrestling competition. They have Chiaki, who's a power wrestler. And you just see in the first time I ever saw her, I was like, she looks cool. And then they have Ano and Mika Ano, and I was like, I'm sorry, Miku Ano, and I was like, Miku. At first time I saw her, I was like, she looks like, you know, when you see her, it's like she stands out. And then I saw her wrestle. It's like she reminds me kind of like Tomoka Inaba in a way. And I was like, when looks like that and skill like that and kicks like that, sign me up. Fine. Like, she's going to be over because of her looks, and she has skill to back up the part where she's going to push because of her looks. Like, so there it is. Like, I already have my little faves already to get started off with that where it goes. So obviously, there's more. Like, there's another woman that I've seen a few other places. I keep forgetting her name because I always see her in like different spots here and there. But like, she's also good for what I've seen of her. And like, yeah, man, it's gonna be just fine. And they're gonna, and you know, after the match, after Bozilla, you know, makes the big play when Julia Lusem, she's gonna put away Suri, and then Suri puts away Julia. Like, they want a singles match. Julia wants a singles match, and then they play the video package, and they say, hey, we're gonna have a Sumo Hall show July 13th. And they'll call it Summer Destiny. And I was like, this is the show, this is the Sumo Hall show that Fumi slipped and said it was going to be the first show, but it wasn't. So, like, they're doing basically they had their Kurgan Hall launch show, they have a tour that's going to set up and lead to Sumo Hall, and right now, you know, I watched Flashing Champions, I watched that crowd, I watched the matches, then I watched this main event.
Crowd was hype.
And I watched the crowd and this Corgan and the excitement in it, and it feels a lot like WWE versus AEW as far as crowd excitement right now. Sleepy crowd, kind of jaded. You've seen it all, whatever else, versus this new thing that's fresh and everything, and like the crowd super hyped, and like it's that's where the similarities end as far as that discussion. But like it feels like we have two serious major Joshi promotions right now.
Yeah, man. About the tag match, I really enjoyed this. I thought it was cool to finally see Julia back in action. It felt like it had been forever. She's just been kind of like this news item rather than a wrestler. And I'm here to say I am now a big fan of the Sun God.
Oh, you finally caught on now?
Yeah, I understand.
I'm glad you do. You got to watch that match she had with Mako in Sendai, like in 2019. That match is her craziest. I think that match is, well, it's not better than Mayu match, I don't think, but it's better than the match we just watched today.
Yeah, like she like the entrance, like the
music.
the music is raw. When she makes her entrance, the temperature in the room changes. Like, and it's like, yeah, like a real like boss is out here now. Like, and enjoy the way she was dumping people on their heads and shit, and hitting hard, and like she's got this look on her face where it's like, nah, I ain't here to fuck around at all. Like, and I was just in Stardom, and now I'm here, and I'll work between whatever fucking company I want because I'm that bitch, essentially. Like, and Bozilla, a big, awkward, hilarious, fun wrestler. Like, it's hilarious.
It's like the good like the best days of Braun Strowman. Like when he was like finally wrestling Roman, it was like he athletic for the size. The looks like dimensions look kind of like, I can't believe there's someone's this size. This in the world. Crowd took to her immediately.
She came out there with the big V on the back, representing the Velk Alliance group.
Yes, the Velk Alliance group. Yes. It's so funny. Like, me and Velk Hedge agree on very little pro wrestling, except for one fundamental truth: everything is better with big, giant wrestlers. It really is. It really is. Big, huge human beings slapping and slamming to each other is so much better. It's so much more believable. It's so much more like, what's the word? Larger than life. That's the term. It actually feels larger than life. But yeah, man, this match was a blast. Some of the camera angles actually betrayed Bozilla made it like a damn goober, but that's okay though. That's okay.
Bozilla was like, "Fuck this! I ain't running no ropes. Like I'm gonna expose the business. I'm not doing the business.
I'm not doing the struggle on the ring steps. I'm just doing it here because I don't think I can get my ass through the bottom rope to make a save if I need to. We just gonna do it right here. Tommy, I don't give a damn if you was a Red Bull champ for 100 days. You just grab my ankle like you a geek." Oh my God, the way Julian and Tommy bumped for this one was ridiculous.
Bro.
Neither one of them bumped for Shuri like that.
Bro, and then Bozilla at the end, she's like, you know what? I'm going to appeal to Rich Ladder now. I'm going to do a flip. Like,
she, did the second rope, the Keith Lee middle rope moonsault. At the end, when they showcase both belts, she just rips the belt out of Julian's hands and puts the red belt on her shoulder. And the crowd popped for it.
All-time hilarious.
Wrestling is the best. It truly is.
Hilarious. Bro, I was 2 minutes into the match. I was like, all right, man, Bozilla hilarious. Like,
yes.
It is completely, I don't know if it's unintentional or not. I don't want to know.
There's no way it's intentional. There's no way. There's no way.
If this is intentional, she's the greatest worker, like, that's come along in the business.
Yeah. Like, she has, like, I forgot. She has a very, very few matches, but, like, you can see there's tools there. Like, if she ever gets to being as good as Megan Bain is, because she's so, like, it's over because, like, she's so much more, like, naturally charismatic than Megan is. So, yeah, if she ever gets even close to that good as far as just technically, like, she can be like Reggie Bennett, Awesome Kong level, like, Monster Gaijin in Joshi.
Yeah, Utami came out with the new music. I didn't recognize a lot of the new music at first. I was waiting for the Julia song, didn't get it. I was like, damn.
Oh, well, that's her old music, the guitar stuff.
Yeah.
I never liked her new thing she got the last couple of years. I never liked it.
I like that one, but
because it's like
I hear those panels get nice and relaxed. You know,
what is relaxing about Julia doing shoot headbutts? I
You gotta turn down before you turn up.
I will say this. I will say this. This is her gear with like the gold and the teal, looking like which is like a hilarious troll because she's like, in my mind, because like that's Jaguars colors and she's going to WWE. Like I think it's amongst her best gear I've ever seen her in. It was awesome.
Yeah. You would think Utami's going to be someone that's factored in on top in this company.
Oh yeah,
going forward. Bozilla's needs to be a potential rival.
Yeah, I think they're. So they announced for Sumo Hall. They announced Julia versus Suri singles match. They didn't say it's for one of the belts or whatever else. I'm assuming they're going to build paths towards both belts. But I think that like they're setting the path for like they do their match. Julia gets her win back at Sumo Hall, and then like Utami's probably the number one, the first champion. She probably beats Bozilla to win the red belt, and then they do Julia in Utami for the red belt at a later time or at the end of the year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was really impressed. And like Mirai and Chiaki, like Mirai, she's lost weight, like she's slimmer. Not that she wasn't in shape or anything before. She was already, brolic and everything, but like she's slimmed down and like she did this like, the Will Ospreay like flip kick or like flip off someone's chest and land on their feet.
Yeah,
she used it as an impact kick in that match. Yeah, and a few other things like it's almost like she slimmed down so she can like justify the part where she was like always really more of a technician and a brute. And so it works better now. Before, because you would do that stuff and be like, just fucking clothesline her. You have the best clothesline in the business. So yeah, I just her gear. She has good looking gear for once, as opposed to just basic looking gear. So yeah, like I like a lot of stuff they have going on right now in Marigold, and like I have to see the rest of the show, but like what I saw, I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah, I definitely want to like pick my favorites of the AgRest folks. So
yeah, I would suggest watching those first two matches after the passion injection. Like, yeah, I think you'll really enjoy. I think you'll enjoy Chizaki, and I think you'll really like Mikuano. I really do.
So we also had Stardom Flash and Champions over the weekend.
Yeah.
Not gonna play the music tonight. I'll just go hit the music. Yeah, y'all know the bit. But yeah, man. I only saw Willow versus Tam on this, and I started watching the tag match, but I didn't finish it.
Okay. Which tag? Am I over? Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And Willow versus Tam, man, I love this thing. Like I never, like I was saying last week, like I would have never picked Tam as an opponent for Willow just because they seem so similar, like in aesthetic and everything like that. It was like, I don't know. I thought I wanted to see her against someone else, but like whoever like thought to put these two together, I think that was kind of a inspired decision.
I mean, if you put anybody that's a power wrestler or a big wrestler and you put them with Tam or Mayu, you're off to a good start because they're excellent sellers and bumpers. Obviously Mayu I think is the best seller bumper combination person in the world, but that's neither here nor there. But like Tam's great, and like she commands a story of like she's an underdog babyface. So like she sees somebody that has over 50 pounds and she's like, yes, let her. I want to wrestle her. Like the same thing. We're like, I don't know how this Megan Bane match is gonna work. Then it worked out how it worked out, right? It's like, oh yeah, that's what she does. She wants to wrestle gigantic monsters or people that are way bigger than her, more powerful than her, and throw her around, and she has to find ways to overcome. So yeah, worked out very well. Very good match. I think for a few people, I like the cage match reviews, like people that don't like the match, their only complaint is, well, I already know Tam was going to lose. Why is Tam put in this match? I'm like, that's not how you rate a match. That's a booking thing. Like, I get it. Whatever. I'm just going to ignore your thing and focus on what people have to say. But like, yeah, very good match.
90%. We know who's going to win 90% of matches.
Right. And we said that last week. We knew. So it was like, it's fine. So yeah, like, really fun match. There was no carrot on the stick for like Tam doing the job, whatever. But Tam does jobs. It's fine. She's always done jobs. Except for when she was champion. So yeah, like it's kind of what it is. But yeah, like, good tune-up match for momentum if you're someone that watches multiple promotions for Willow going to this, or going to Saturday. So, I expect Sasha and Mercedes and Willow to have a better match than this, and that's given that Mercedes been gone for so long, like that is pretty high standard, because like I can see people arguing for this match. I wouldn't give it 4, but I can see people saying 4 for this.
Yeah, I think for some reason, like I feel like Tam's probably going to end up coming to America, and I would have never thought that before. I
figured she was coming because she has her visa. There's a few people that have their visas, or not a few, but like have their visas. Plus, we're like on the ROH show, so it's like already in the system in a way. Like Tam, Kamatani, Azumi, Mina, Starlight Kid. Yeah, I imagine they're going to be on TV and involved in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. So the best match tonight for me was Best Friends versus. I'm sorry, I gotta start again. The best match of the night for me was Eye Contact, the team of Mayu Iwatani and Hanan versus the best friends of Arisa Nakajima and Tsukasa Fujimoto. I like to officially call them the real best friends because like they're still friends to this day. Like they tagged together in the match. They didn't like turn each other because of. Do we even know what? Have we ever learned what Trist's reasons were? Have we learned?
Orange Cassidy is selfish, all about himself.
Okay, cool.
He was the mascot. Now they work for him for all these years. No appreciation.
Awesome. Love it. So, yeah, man, this match started out where, like, it starts with Tsukasa and it starts with Mayu and they're trading around. And then, like, I'm just sitting there watching. I'm just like, hey, man, like, when is Risk going to get in? like, no respect is like, they're doing the trades, but, like, the tenor of the match is going to change once Risk gets in because she's going to try to bite someone's face off. She's a fucking honey badger. And then she got in the ring, and he then proceeded to beat the shit out of Mayu. And then Hanan got in. She proceeded to beat the shit out of Hanan. And then, like, Tsukasa and Arisa proceeded to take turns off of both of their asses at different points. And then, like, at some point, I think it was a double foot stomp from Arisa, where, like, she stars up from double foot off the top rope onto Mayu. Like, I think it was a Japanese Ocean Cyclone suplex drop, and then Arisa came off the top rope, like, boom, boom. And, like, you see the footprint on Mayu's shoulder. At some point, Mayu got a shiner under her left or right eye. I can't remember which one. But, like, they just beat the hell out of both of them. And, like, they were just fighting and underneath. And Mayu was selling her ass off for those two. This is the first time, like, both of them have been in Stardom forever. Since either one of us started watching Stardom. Like, Arisa had a year-end match with Io, I think, in 2014. I think.
Shit.
Yeah. I don't think it's the last time she was in Stardom, but that's how long ago they were in Stardom. And then Tsukasa and Ice Ribbon and Stardom used to do work together, and then they stopped, and then things have changed even further. And then Ice Ribbon came to Stardom. But yeah, they just it was a great match. It was like really violent. Arisa just being her mean ass self, and like at the end of it, Tsukasa put away Hanan. And Arisa just basically like just wiped the floor with Mayu. Mayu couldn't make a save for her anymore, for Hanan. And then Mayu wants a match, wants to defend the IWGP belt, women's IWGP belt versus Tsukasa. Tsukasa says, "Yeah, we can do it, but you got to do it in my ring. You got to take it to Ice Ring.
Yeah,
to do that." So I thought it was cool.
You got to come to the old country.
Like,
well, you
come to Korakuen Hall with a blue mat. Okay, cool.
Look, you got to come to the hard mat. Oh no, that's not. I'm thinking of Seedling.
Seedling's a hard ring. Yeah,
you got to come to the boxing ring. Honestly, that's what I was hoping. I was hoping that Arisa will get sneak the W and then be like, yeah, you got to come to the boxing ring. But they'll have to do it on the blue mat. But yeah, like, really fun match, and, like, I hope to see more of them in Stardom from time to time before Arisa retires, because she retires, I think she retires in August at the anniversary show for Sealand, the 8th or 9th anniversary? I forgot which one, but, yeah. What do you think they're going to do regarding her retirement?
Arisa?
Yeah.
Who her opponent's going to be?
Yeah.
Probably Sari. Because Sari's the Beyond the Sea champion right now. She's the current top champion in Sealing. So I'm assuming, because Sari beat Arisa for the belt. So I'm assuming she's going to try and get it back again and then retire. Like, I would, I don't know what the affiliation thing is now with Marigold, but like, I would like to see one, because there was always this, like, the last Nanai match in Sealing was it versus Arisa for the belt. And like, everyone knew that she was leaving. Then like, Arisa wrote a scribbled a contract and like, you get one last match with me or whatever else, whenever you want to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And like, they haven't had a match since. I would like to see one last Nanai and Arisa match, but we'll see if it happens. We're only a couple months away before she retires. And then, you also have the opener. It was Crazy Star versus the new Mutual Love team of Starlight Kid and that's Poi. And that match, high speed tag wrestling. You love it. You can give it 4 if you want to. It was high level wrestling. And it went to a 15-minute draw. And it's just blazing wrestling. I think it sets up like Mutual Love for like FWC, and like that's gonna be another high speed tag match. That's gonna be fucking awesome too. Like Poi, Hazuki, Starlight Kid, and Kaguma. That's gonna happen eventually. That's gonna be awesome.
Sign me up.
And then they get the win, and then they run back the rematch of Crazy Star again. It's just great wrestling. And then the main event was Ano defending the white belt versus Ami, and it was slow to start, but like I think by the closing stretch was great, and I thought this was like the handed match was better from All-Star Grand Queendom, but I was more impressed by this match because like I think a lot more of Hand than I do of Ami as a wrestler. So like I was like, okay. But after the match, because they've been teasing like Ano is going to defend his belt against Poi eventually. So Poi was on commentary the back half of the show. So she calls up Poi to the apron. She says, "I know you've been patiently waiting. Thank you for waiting. Can you wait some more?"
That's funny.
Bro, Poi made a face and it was like, and the crowd laughed and everything, and she was like,
Bro,
"You fucking." Go ahead.
You know what that shit reminds me of? That shit reminds me of when Sugar Ray Leonard brought Marvin Hagler to the fucking ringside. It was like, it would be an awesome match. Sugar Ray Leonard versus my friend Marvin Hagler. Unfortunately, we'll never see it
because I'm retiring.
Thank you. God bless. Yes. Yo, if y'all never seen that shit, y'all have to see the look on Marvin Hagler's face. Bro, Marvin Hagler must have died still hating that man. Oh my God.
So,
never fought again after he fought him.
Yeah. So basically Ano said to her, like, you got some stuff going on with the tag thing. I think now's not the right time. I hope you understand that. And Poi was like, yeah, I understand. And I'm like, okay, so you did All-Star Grand Queendom. You put Hannon in that match. Well, you could have did Poi and probably would have done better because Poi's more popular, whatever else, and also a better wrestler, whatever. Could have done the match then. You decided to delay it. You now have put her in a tag team, a brand new tag team, her third tag team in Cosmic Angels now. This time not officially in Cosmic Angels yet, but like a third one now with this mutual love thing with Kid. Mm-hmm. And Kid and Poi have the same dream, both want to be white belt champion. That's interesting if you keep it going and you have them go through the summer, get out of Grand Prix, and they're both basically like split off of both wanting to be white belt champion. That's cool if Ano's still champion. But if that's not the plan, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing. So there's that. There was a Gauntlet 5 trios tag match. No tag, it was just basic Lucha rules. At the end of it, Tekla and Momo and Tora won, and they are now the number one contenders for Micah and Xena and Mina's trios belts. So I'm assuming there's, it's funny, like Tekla came back and cut that promo somewhat like, I'm here to kill all the idols. I am not someone's side character. I'm a main bitch, and they about to put her where? They put a trios belt right back on her. Like, you see what I mean as far as like the directions for this kind of stuff, how it's some stuff like, all right, if this is actually where they go is cool, we'll see if it actually goes that way. And then you see like what way Rossi just flat out books is like, this was a show we did. It is going to set up this fucking show, and the main event is, or one of the biggest thing we have is after we just had Sari beat Julia, we're doing Sari versus Julia in a singles match. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, Taro Okada's on file alert until further notice, man. He on probation. Like, once he gets a big show, another big show, and we'll see how he books to it, and what the card looks like, we'll see. But like this show, it was good. It wasn't great. It wasn't very good. It was just good. So yeah, that's my gist of Stardom right now on the main cards, pay-per-views right now. Like the pay-per-view or Grand Queen was way better than this, but like that was their A pay-per-view. This is a B pay-per-view or C pay-per-view.
For sure.
What are your thoughts?
I think Stardom has to, how can I say this? You got to find something that, like, because I love wrestlers, like, I love Ano. I think Micah is good or whatever. But we got to plug the stars back in. That's where I'm at with it. Like, the Tam and Will thing doesn't bother me because it's like I see both of those people as stars. I'm not saying I don't see Anu or Micah as stars. It's just like, all right.
There's a certain level of investment for seeing someone 5 years and seeing them like, oh, like Micah was built as a gatekeeper for so long, and then Anu just got here for like a year.
Right. So. I'm very interested in what Tekla has going on, like her, whole remake over new gimmick and stuff like that. But it's like, all right, you gonna throw a trios belt on her or whatever? I'm like, I think she should be moving up.
She still is undefeated. She came back, so that she does have that going for her. It's just the thought of like, all right, you put her in this trios thing, so to let her in a slow cooker, and then you're gonna put her into the Grand Prix, which she should have been in 2 years ago, but you didn't do. She's finally going to be in her first Grand Prix, and she's going to have to eat some losses here and there. She better damn well beat one of these red or white belt champions, get a title shot.
Yeah. And, like all those, I know, Niagara Driver is loving the tag team division.
It's awesome.
Talks about it all the time. It's like, high quality work in there.
It is.
But I'm like, yo, it's like some of that star power I think could be divvied up in the singles, like in like stuff that goes towards red or white. Yeah. And then like somebody can take this this high speed belt eventually from Sai Kamatani, who's like way above that. I feel like. So
I will say this. After seeing her match with Ida, it was good. I'd probably give it 3.25. 3.5. I'd say 3.5. But like, it was a nice out of the element thing for Ida to be like, it was funny because the announcers on the commentary yelling out high speed muscle. I fucking howled. but yeah, it was fun like to see her like get a showcasing, because like the last time we really saw her get a showcase was like that match with Mirai 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And like, this is somebody that's clearly talented, but she's a jobber. And like, you see her in this match, it's like, she could do more. She could do more, but it's like, this is a loaded place. But yeah, like, I see what you mean. Like, it's a lot of like, the top star has been pushed, or like, kind of, Mayu is defending IWGP. She's away from the red belt or white belt. I don't know. Tam is doing she's always doing something, but right now it's keeping her away from the red and white belt. Shiri, there's no real explanation for what they're not doing with Shuri right now. Like she was a trios champion earlier than Mariah. They took the belts off her when Mariah left. So that's that's a recent thing. But it's like, we know who's been the top people in this company the last 5 years, and now it's like all of a sudden they're just in these weird spaces, or in these spaces where it's like, all right, this person needs a championship doing something to justify her not being or trying or whatever else. Because like, if she's not doing anything constructive, send her out there so Micah can pin her and make it and help solidify Micah.
Mm-hmm.
They did that with Utami, but Utami was leaving. They could have did that with Tam, but
maybe somebody don't want to do business.
I don't think Shuri would do job for anybody. I'm not.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Tam out here losing to Aja Kong.
I mean,
Willow Nightingale.
What choice did she have? You want to do this the easy way or the hard way?
Yeah, I don't think anybody that bumps like that at this stage is a threat. But okay, or you can just not do the match. There's always you can not do the match.
Aja always a threat. To this day.
When's she gonna pull a Marigold? Never.
Look, this shit funny. It's like Stardom, the doors open for Stardom, and doors closed that she had no idea about already.
Right. Nah, the best part is like, all right, Rossi sell this one off the Wrestling Universe. Like, all right, she gonna be like, clock down Wayne in 5 years. Once your non-compete ends, I'm gonna show them in 5 years and 6 months.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but I mean, that's pretty much all I got. Like, good show, but it's a big pay-per-view, and I didn't feel like outside of a couple matches, like there was no 4.25 star match on this show. There was nothing like that. But it was a show where it was like, all right, bunch of good wrestling. And we'll see what they have for, because they're about to have a few shows before they get to the Grand Prix at the end of July. So
hell yeah, man. Yeah, we should probably wrap it up.
Yep. That's in the show, y'all. Thanks for listening. If you are watching from the stream, be sure to go to our Red Circle link that is in our show notes in the podcast. Also, Rich, plug this shirt.
OneLifetimeWorldwide.com. Get your One Nation Radio shirts. High quality. Like better than any regular cotton tees. These are like kind of like heavyweight distress style, so they will fit you real nice, and you'll be fly.
And be sure to check out the other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, FW Adventure, Wrestling Art with Chris Things, Tunnel Talk, and the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast. Thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.